Hey fight fans, welcome back again to another episode with the African Fighters. And on today's episode, we're going to be giving you 3 things that Cameron Saaiman needs to do in his upcoming match against Terrence Mitchell to come up with the W. Alright, Cameron Saaiman is one of the youngest talents in the UFC. A lot of people think he's going to be a champion someday just because of the skill set that he possesses at just the young age of 22. He was supposed to go up against Christian Rodriguez at UFC 290, but that bout got cancelled because Rodriguez pulled out of the fight due to an injury. Now Cameron Saaiman has been rescheduled to take on Terrence Mitchell, who'll be making his debut in the UFC, was on the Contender Series, but lost to Kai Kara France. Without further ado, let's get right into the top 3 things that Cameron Saaiman needs to do if he's going to come out victorious in this fight. Alright, number 1, he needs to keep this fight standing. I mean, this should come as no surprise. If you're fighting a guy who has 53% of his win by submission, you might want to stay away from the ground game. In his last 2 fights against Mana Martinez and Steven Kozlow, we saw Cameron Saaiman wriggle his way out of different submission attempts to get back to his feet. A lot of top analysts have said that just wriggling your way out and forcing things on the floor will probably not work against the highly talented grapplers, and so it is in his best interest to stay away from the floor, try not to get taken down. He doesn't have a very good takedown defense at the moment, but I'm sure that's something he has been working on. As much as it lies with him, he needs to stay away from the floor. Terrence Mitchell is a very strong submission artist. I mean, he has wins with rear naked choke against Christian Alexander, arm triangle chokes, he's pulled out rear naked chokes, so many different types of finishes on the floor. I know this has been against slightly lesser opponents, but he needs to be careful and stay away from the submissions. If he manages to keep the fight standing, this is where he excels. He's a very talented striker, very difficult to predict. He doesn't just spam the same types of techniques, changes his stance. So often you struggle to understand if he's a southpaw or an orthodox fighter. This is going to be very confusing for his opponent, who is also not very technical on the feet, but does pack more power than Cameron Saaiman. Saaiman is not somebody who can knock you out with one punch. His opponent, however, can do that, as we've seen him throw dangerous right overhand to end fights. Again, not against the best of opponents, but as they say, power is power. Cameron Saaiman needs to make sure he doesn't circle to his left to ensure that he doesn't get caught with one of those big overhands from Terrence Mitchell. Now, the second thing I think Cameron Saaiman needs to do in this fight is to stay out of foul trouble. There has been a lot going around that he's a dirty fighter and all sorts. I don't agree with this, and I think in the fights where he has committed fouls, he has been dominating those fights, and there's absolutely no reason for him to stop his own momentum and get points taken away from him by intentionally fouling. However, a foul is a foul, and this is a 3-round fight, not a 5-round fight. If you do get points deduction in a 3-round fight, that could automatically jeopardize all the work that you've put in that round. I mean, the reason he had the majority decision against Mana Martinez and not the full unanimous decision was because he had points taken away from him for 2 inside leg kicks to the groin that missed the target and hit Mana Martinez in the cup. In the 3rd round, he also had an eye poke, which the referee decided not to take a point away from him. That could have swung things in Mana Martinez's favor. Thankfully, the ref decided not to take a point as he thought it was purely accidental. We also saw him connect with an illegal knee to the head against Steven Kozlow, which drew a lot of attention from fans and from other fighters. He went on to win this match, but a lot of people said that Steven Kozlow might have been seriously compromised from the illegal knee to the head. Cameron Saaiman needs to stay out of foul trouble. I don't agree that he's intentionally a dirty fighter, but I believe that his inexperience is getting the best of him. He needs to stay calm in the octagon and be decisive with his striking. It will be really sad to see Cameron Saaiman lose his undefeated streak via disqualification or because he lost too many points due to fouls in the octagon. Alright, and the third and final thing is he cannot afford to underestimate his opponent. He comes into this fight as the massive betting favorite. Everybody expects Cameron Saaiman to win against a lesser opponent who will be making his debut in the UFC. However, this man is somebody who crumbled under pressure before, as he lost to Kai Kara France miserably in the Contender Series. He'll be out for blood, he'll be out for redemption. Cameron Saaiman needs to be ready for all that smoke. that Terrence Mitchell is going to come with. Apart from the fact that he's expected to win this fight, he's also expected to win this fight in style. This is because the bantamweight division is probably the most stacked division in the UFC. With the king of the division being Aljamain Sterling, you have fighters like Merab Dvalishvili, Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan, Sandhagen, Marlon Vera, and so many other talented fighters. Getting a fight against a ranked opponent will be really difficult, as even fighters like Umar Nurmagomedov have struggled to burst into the top 10, top 8 of this division, meaning if he wants to get his chance at a crack at somebody who is high up in the division, he needs to do something special. Terrence Mitchell is a very aggressive fighter who loves to swing, throw a lot of power punches, but is not very technical with them as we've seen till date. If Cameron Saaiman can stay composed, he's expected to win this fight. But as they say, a fight is a fight. Cameron Saaiman needs to be very careful in the octagon, as this guy packs some power that could sleep anybody in that division. Alright guys, that's it from us today. Leave your comments in the comment section. If there's anything you think we missed, don't forget to let us know in the comment section what you think Cameron Saaiman needs to do in order to come out victorious. See you in the next episode.
Louder! Africans! Come on, Africans!